Hi, welcome to Review Crew. I'm Sam.
And I'm Emily.
And today we're reviewing Chad Powers.
So Chad Powers is the new TV show on Hulu based off of the Eli Manning sketch on ESPN from 2022. And it tells the story of Chad Powers, also known as Russ Holiday, who's played by Glenn Powell. And Russ Holiday is this sort of washed up ex-quarterback for Oregon State. He played college football. And he has been embroiled in controversy over the last few years, and everyone kind of hates Russ Holiday. And so he wants to get back into football, and so he finds this team, South Georgia, that is hosting tryouts for a walk-on quarterback, and he decides to don fake prosthetics and become a new person, Chad Powers, and become their walk-on QB. So what did you think about the show?
So I'm going to be honest. I remember I saw the Eli Manning sketch a few years ago, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then when I heard that they were making a full-on show about it, I was like, oh, that's not where I would have thought this was going to go. But I was interested, especially because I like Glenn Powell. I think he's a good actor, so I was very excited. And I got to say, I'm disappointed. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I haven't seen much about the show online, but it wasn't my favorite. Overall, I feel like it's just too predictable for me. Really, obviously I saw the sketch, I knew where it was going, but even the first episode, I was like, oh, this is pretty simple. What's gonna happen here?
Yeah, I think I actually I might have the unpopular opinion because I kind of liked it, and I have not been seeing a lot of positive stuff online. But I will admit it is very tropey. It's very sort of predictable. But I watched it for Glenn Powell because I like him. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Like he has funny prosthetics and he does a funny voice and it's working on me, you know?
Yeah, the prosthetics, I will say he looks good.
They're very good.
They're
yeah.
very good. It's very a sharp contrast every time he takes it off and when he's acting like that to when he puts it back on, which
yeah, like there's actually a difference.
Which is needed and it works really well. And I love how awkward he was when he first put it on and first stepped out onto the field. Especially with Leonard, the star wide receiver.
Yeah.
How his first interaction with him, he was like, what is wrong with this guy? Which I was like, yeah, this is very much so, like, I assumed this was going to happen, but it's still funny. So.
Yeah, it's very much that liar revealed trope of, like, they just he kind of keeps digging himself this deeper and deeper hole, and he keeps saying crazy things, and I sit there, like, the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, no, shut up. It's all eventually going to get revealed, and that's where the trope stops being fun, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm having a lot of fun while we were in those first 2 episodes, at least. The second half, right now, there's only 4 episodes out. The second half of what we've seen so far, I'm not as crazy about. I think the second episode is actually the least popular, at least on IMDb, but that's the one where they're at the lake house, and it's basically just him, it's just antics of him trying to conceal that he's wearing prosthetics. So yes, squeeze the liquid out of his face, and it's I thought that part was funny. And I also think the woman who plays the booster lady, I think she's really funny. But then they start getting into actual football in episode 3, and I was like, okay. And then episode 4, I was just watching it, and I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, I'll agree with it. I do think episode 2 is probably one of my favorites out of the 4. I get that. I mean,
there's only 4,
but I do think it served its purpose really well. And I do love the end when he's talking to Coach Hudson and the water starts to pour out. He's like, "Are you crying?" He's like, "No," and he runs away. I thought things with the prosthetics is what makes it really funny. I think Glenn Powell's voice and being a coward and all that, I think it's a little too forced for me. Every so often it was fun, when they were making fun of him for not jumping into the pool, and then it pulls out and he's wearing jorts past his knees.
Yeah.
I did chuckle at that because I was
jorts.
like, why is he wearing jorts right now at this beach house? And then I feel like episode 4 is really where it lost me because I feel like it was trying to do too much with it, and then they just went on this side plot off.
Yeah, I mean, I generally like this sort of more gimmicky, manic type stuff that they were doing. That's why I liked episode 2. And so the premise of them going on this sort of hunt to try and find more glue to get the prosthetics back on, that should have appealed to me, but I think that they just kind of totally erase all of the progress that Russ and Chad as a person had been making in the past few episodes, and they ended which I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but they ended that episode where he was being rude to the Danny, the cat, the mascot, and he bought him new pillows, and like they had a little moment. So you think like, oh, like they're gonna be friends now, or at least like they're gonna be working as a better team. And then we turn around in this episode, and he is so rude to Danny, and I'm like, this kid has done nothing but help you, and we already went through this whole thing about like you getting in an argument about it, and I'm like, what happened to like Chad from last episode, who was like helping out Ricky and did her play, and then like now you're just back to being like you were in the first episode. Like it just totally lost me, and I'm like, I don't want you guys to fight. I like the two of you as friends. We're over halfway through the season now, and you're already regressing. Like there's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, and I didn't like how there was no real resolution. Like they stormed off, they separated each other at the hospital, and then when Russ was in like trouble, Danny just helped him without like really ever having any communication about it.
And never apologized.
He never apologized.
Like he doesn't even Danny doesn't even stand
up
and be like apologize to me. Like I helped you out because we're friends, but like apologize to me. And then he just doesn't. He literally was going to, and then he deletes the text.
Yeah, and then he just assumed that like he was like, oh, I'll do the molds, you go to bed, and then he was like, oh, I'll help, and then like yeah, that's nice, but like I don't think it was deserved really.
Yeah,
considering
I mean,
what
like,
they went through during the episode.
I don't know. That was like a nice moment, but I don't think it was earned. They didn't make up sufficiently. So
I feel like, and each episode was a different length too, which is kind of
they are weird. It was like it started with almost 45 minutes and then they keep going down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got 2 more episodes. Let's see if the season can sort of pick back up and end on a good note. What did you think of the season so far?
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I really did not enjoy it all that much at all, but I feel like maybe it could get a little bit better. There's only 2 more episodes, but we'll see. What did you think?
I agree. I'm also going to give it a 6 out of 10, even though I had a more positive sort of impression of it. I think it could pick itself back up for 5 and 6, but if we're going on the same trajectory as 3 and 4, I think we might be in for a bad season of television. So anyway, thank you for watching Review Crew.